Hi, welcome back to the Choir Genius channel. My name is Tom Metzger, and this is episode 4 of my conversation with Deke Sharon, the father of modern a cappella. Deke was up here in Vancouver to work with Van City Harmony, my chorus, and a bunch of groups from UBC a cappella. And it was just a great weekend. Deke did a fine job of all that. And so this part of the conversation is a rapid fire. Here's a group type. What do they need to work on? I really enjoyed this part of the conversation, and I hope you do too. Let's dive in. So one of the things I'm aware of you in different roles in your life, but not so much as a coach, as a person who comes into work with groups. But having worked with you this whole weekend, I'm aware that you have an awful lot of skill set and awareness around that. And I really wanted to ask you, kind of rapid fire, I'm going to give you some, the profile of a group.
Sure.
You imagine the average group like that, and what do they need to work on?
Yeah. Okay, go. Let's go.
Well, let's start with something like Van City. So we got 40 people. A lot of them are ex-barbershoppers, pretty good singers.
Yep.
Right. What does a group like that probably have to work on to get to the next level?
So that group, your group, walked in the door. Chords were gorgeous. Tuning, balance, blend, everything was lovely. You have a tradition that's more kind of in the barbershop side, so we worked a little bit on rhythm and making sure that locked in because tuning is more of a focus than rhythm. But the thing that really mattered was making sure that you got out of your heads so that when you were singing a song, there wasn't that like little piece of the mechanics of like, I need to sing the right notes and rhythms all the time, but rather just letting go and leaning into the emotional content of the song. So you really can be, vessels for and conduits of that emotional communication. And it didn't take a lot, but really what we did towards the end there was practicing starting a song, okay, stop, starting another song. So everybody in the group got really good at that emotional juxtaposition and just finding the feeling of the next song and being able to hit it from the downbeat as opposed to waiting for it to happen to them or expecting the director to pull it out of them.
Right. Okay, now let's do another one.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do, this is a 40-person community choir.
Okay.
They sing choral music.
Sure.
Average age is now, 55?
Okay, yeah.
What do they need?
Well, probably there's going to be some fundamentals of music that they really need to lock into. The issue of vocal blend, particularly if they have a lot of people from different communities who pronounce different words differently, or some immigrants and all that kind of stuff. You're also going to find them sometimes like drifting a lot with their attention. They're probably starting a song and then they're kind of thinking about other things. So we need to keep them like dialed into this whole thing. And also probably if their experience singing music when they were younger was all about you need to sing the right notes and the right rhythms, and they think that's enough. It's not. We need them really connecting with each other. And so I tell people all the time, like, you need to just look in eyes. Look in the eyes of the people next to you and look out at the audience and really sing to them. And amateur is not a bad word. The root of the word amateur, as you know, being Canadian and everybody up here knows French, right? Is amour. It's the word of love. And when you hear a great amateur group, it can be so much more powerful and compelling than a professional ensemble.
You do it because you love it.
You do it because you love it, and that love can be incredible. So if we can get them really geared up, even though they're not going to be in flawless tuning or whatever, pick the right songs, pick the right repertoire, and have them just sing with big open hearts, even if it's a little bit sloppy, the audience will just have the biggest grins on their faces, and so will they as singers.
Right. Okay, let's do top 10 ICCA group.
A top 10 ICCA group, really talented college a cappella group. Okay, the first thing I'd say is you guys are spending all year learning 3 songs and you're ruining your college experience.
Oh, they're just like barbershoppers.
Yeah, it's the worst.
My God.
It's the worst. Another thing I'd say is, you find a lot of these groups, they fall into the same trap that you find movie production houses. They want to win Oscars, they want to win, awards, and everybody thinks that really moody, dark, troubled acting is the best. So then they win the Academy Award. And if you go back and look for the Academy Awards for best, male and female actress, go back for however long, maybe not in the black and white era, but since then, that role is almost always goes to somebody who had some like defect or deformity or huge like challenge they had to
Forrest
overcome.
Gump.
Yeah, whatever, great. And even then, that was more of a comedy and like kind of joyful, but a lot of it is very dark. right? So these college a cappella groups, they decide like, well, we need to sing music that's meaningful and really impress the judges. So we're going to go out there and we're going to sing these moody, dark songs one after another about how disconnected and disaffected we are and nobody understands us and I'm lonely and all this stuff. And frankly, it's kind of ridiculous to hear a bunch of healthy, private, educated college singers who are paying $88,000 a year for their education, sing like, I'm so alone, and everybody just sings, we're so alone, like, nobody understands me, nobody understands us, and then you end up with this like weird dichotomy. You know what a cappella does better than anything? Joy. Mm-hmm. And do you know what college a cappella singers do better than anything? Joy. I mean, look at the finale of Pitch Perfect. It's not about they're singing price tag. It's not about economics. It's not about commercialism. Mm-hmm. It's about how much they love each other and the sisterhood and the connection they have within the group. That is the thing that college a cappella does so well, except the groups that compete lean away from that and think that they need to do serious, difficult, moody music. But I guarantee you the groups that don't compete, they're learning all kinds of fun, playful pop songs and singing in the fraternities and sororities in the dorm rooms and at other colleges or whatever, and bringing down the house, because all people care about is, boom, do they feel something?
You see, like we said the other day, you set up a competition which has this great upside of creating drama, creating interest, but also has these interesting side effects where, of course, everyone's going to try to game that system as best they can to go up in the hierarchy.
Yeah, completely. And another problem is they have way too much choreography. So you'll end up having these groups and they're constantly moving throughout all of their songs to try to show like, hi, we're moving, we move well, so then give us a higher score. Except a lot of it doesn't have anything to do with the actual emotional content of the song.
It's not authentic.
No, it's not authentic. It's also ridiculous. Yeah. And so I tell choreographers all the time, it's like the Hippocratic Oath, first do no harm. Right. Like nobody should move unless there's a reason to move, and then they should only move the way. So I've never really understood like when you have like two concentric circles of people walking in opposite directions, like what emotion is that supposed to elicit? Unless the song's about like rush hour commute in New York City, I don't know why they're doing that. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
So, and yet it's almost like a constant in the collegiate a cappella world. So many of these different formations and things. So it's a little bit silly and ridiculous. And my prescription for those groups is learn a song in a half an hour and then go sing it on your quad.
Right.
Just like get away from this need to have things be
perfectionism.
And just have fun, because it's college, guys.
Okay, let's do a harder one, I think. Gospel choir.
Gospel choir. Okay, so gospel choirs are some of the most compelling ensembles because their purpose, their whole focus is just to raise their voices up. It's just literally to experience and connect with their God. And so if you're going to look for a chorus that has emotional content, that has that power and that strength, there's no question it's going to be a gospel choir. However, almost everybody in a gospel choir is learning by ear, and it's usually 3-part harmony or whatever. So if I was working with a gospel choir, I'd try to and work with them on, let's pull things out a little bit. Let's try a different emotion. Let's try getting into some of the fundamentals of what makes vocal harmony work well. And some of these things that they're kind of doing second nature, like sing with as much vibrato as you want all the time. If you can straighten out their voices a little bit, those chords will lock more. Mm-hmm. And like swooping up to notes and chords and all that kind of stuff. Gospel's incredibly compelling and your heart is full. So that part of it I want to take away. But some of the fundamental technique that would really make them shine and cleaner of a sound, I think would benefit the overall.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do one more. So that's junior children's choir, so kids from 10 to 16 or something. And there's 60 of them.
60 10 to 16-year-olds. If you told me kindergartners, I'd be like, don't change anything.
There's nothing to do.
There's nothing to do.
I know.
Because they're completely themselves. Like they haven't been tainted by that like worry about anything.
Yeah.
But by the time you get into middle school, young people now, especially with social media and everything, they're constantly second guessing themselves. They're obsessed with what everybody else is thinking about them, except every other person that they go to school with is obsessed thinking about themselves. So like all of this worry is completely misplaced. I would go out of my way to try to teach them how to sing with emotions other than the fundamental fear that is infusing everything that they're doing. We've got to find a way to really have them let go and trust this whole system and process. And I would do it by joking with them, cajoling them, disarming them, reminding them of things, and putting them at ease so they could sing the way they do when they're in their bedroom with a hand brush singing in the mirror, or the way they would at karaoke with just their friends when the doors are shut and they feel safe. Get them out of their heads and into their hearts, and then they can make some lovely music.
Right. That is wonderful. That's wonderful.